What's up, everybody? Yes, we're live on a Monday night. Tonight, we're going to talk about knuckle bass fishing series. I said knucklehead, obviously. So I brought the king knucklehead in tonight because there's a little something that we kind of have to start off talking about because there's so many people fishing on so many different teams that it's still a crapshoot who's even going to be on what team just this early on. So, Chad, talk a little bit about the scenario we find ourselves in.
Well, so just being real with y'all, like everything we do is transparent. So last night I had kind of a long week, grinding hard. I needed some dead brain time, so I decided to treat myself to a movie. And usually I go with my daughter, or sometimes with my son when he's in town. But neither one of them wanted to see Big George Foreman, and I'm a big George Foreman fan.
Oh
And so I
yeah,
wanted to see that movie. It was out. I had this pass from points from when Casey goes to movies or whatever. So I decided to go see the movie. I call you on the way to talk about the knucklehead thing and the mayhem thing, and you're like, man, what do we do when this person and this person and this person? So what I had thought through was, what if somebody fishes two challenges and they win both of them? Because it's a pretty good chance if you've got a big enough limit that you win one and you enter two, you might win both of them. I said, well, they just have to pick which team they want, which team assignment they want. What we didn't anticipate from the knuckleheads out there is, what happens if somebody competes multiple months and they win in different months for different teams? When do they have to declare? Like, in other words, if a knucklehead fished in March and won, let's say the Fluke Master Challenge, okay? And at that same time, if he had won the Team Chad Challenge and he chose between the two, is he locked into Team Fluke Master? Because what happens if he bought the 4-pack and he's going to fish all 4 months, and then now he fishes on Team Gramps, and let's say he wins Team Gramps in April? Does he then get the chance to vacate Team Chad or Team Fluke Master and move to Team Gramps? And if so, does that then roll you down to the next person? Well, then here's the other thing that we got into, because this is when I was like, oh, crap, we might have a problem on our hands. Because JT said, hey, okay, when do we make these guys lock their stuff in? Because they got to make plans for when they're going to be in Huntsville if they're going to make it. And so I ran some scenarios today. And here's what it really boils down to. If you're fishing in this thing, you should make plans to be in Huntsville, because one, you got the fan fish off on Friday, the Friday before Veterans Day weekend. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a community event. But here's the other thing. What if somebody can't get off work? What if some life thing happens? There is a roll down to this whole thing. So you might be being there on Friday planning on fishing the fan fish off to try to get in the top 5 to make the new wild card team, and find out that the third person on Team Gramps couldn't make it, and you were right below them, and you just moved up. Now you automatically are on a team, And so then it begs the question, when do we lock it in? Because the one point you brought up that really was like, oh, crap, is, let's say the guy that it rolls down to in second place, because let's say the guy in first place vacated the slot.
yep.
What if he wins next month on another team and decides to take that spot? Does now it goes to third place? And so the answer to that question is, we got to let it run to September, because each person's got the opportunity to fish 4 months. And if they paid for the 4 months and win the first one, they still get to fish the other 4, right? They want to, the great thing about this platform, with all of these influencers that are the team's captains, it's going to be bringing a lot of eyeballs to it. So if you're trying to get your name out there and you want to win events so your name's on the leaderboard, it's a great opportunity to do that. I've told people that one of the things that I'm going to do for my team especially is, when this event's over, I'm going to work my butt off to help you get sponsorships. No better way to set the table than winning or running the gauntlet on some of these events and having your name on multiple leaderboards. So I thought about it a lot today, and I don't really have an answer 100% yet. but I wanted you to be able to open this up tonight. That's why I said, why don't I come on, dude, and talk about it a little bit, and then you continue the conversation. I got another podcast I got to be on tonight, but like, I really thought about it, and I'm just going to throw this out there as a where I'm at, but it's really back to the community to help decide. So let's just say a angler won month 1, okay? Then he decided to win month 2 for a different team. Okay, but what if he fishes month 3 and month 4 for other teams? Does he wait to the end of the 4 months and then decide which team he wants to go on? Also, there's nothing preventing you from overlapping. You could finish up Team Chad and Team Gene because we started early, move over to Team Guida because you're a UFC fan, fish his, and then you don't win his until the 4th month, but then you're like, screw you, Chad and Gene, I'm going to Team Guida, right? So it's like, then what that does is that opens up the person that was in 2nd, 3rd. It could be 5th place in reality that moves on to that team because the people that are winning could be winning for other teams and just vacate the slot. And that's on an easy deal. When you get into the fact that we're now at 12 team captains, 11 team captains, in theory, it could be 8 or 9 places deep if those people go out and win and that spot rolls down. So it's going to be interesting. I do have to figure out a way to establish some ground rules so that we avoid capricious interference by the team captains of going out and throwing, what do you call it? Incentives like name, image, and likeness compensation for these. Hey, man, if you come to my team, I'm going to throw you a little, you know what I mean? So we got to figure that part out. But, dude, what a crazy good problem to have. We're at over 2,000 fish, 306 anglers, and 513 tickets. So that means at least 200 people have fished more than one team. You know what I'm saying? That's going to create a compound problem. And we're just in May. So there's the numbers on it right now. It's just going to get better. And the other thing that happened is I think a lot of people thought of this as a novelty when we first started it. And I think that they thought, okay, well, it's either going to go one of two ways. It's going to be a bunch of scrubs, or it's going to be a bunch of like Russ Snyders and Christine Fisher and, Cody Miltons and all them coming in here and running the gamut on it. Dude, we're seeing high triple-digit limits from damn near everybody, and people putting up 110, 112, 113, 100-inch limits where you don't expect 100-inch limits to come from. And in some cases, and this is not a rub on anybody, from anglers that you're like, I've never heard of. And I've been in this game a minute. I've had my finger on the pulse. So this thing is doing exactly what we hoped it would do.
Yep.
But there's some variables that we didn't consider, right? Like the fact that people are going to win and win and win. Then the roll down happens. Okay, that person just moved into first. Well, now what happens if they win another one? Do they vacate? Because I'll be straight up with you. Let's just be real here. If I'm a competitor and I go out and I get a default win because the guy ahead of me vacates and I move into first place by that, right? My pride is not going to let me just sit on that. I'm going to want to fish the other deal and win it, in which case then I vacate that second place appointment and it rolls to third. So again, in theory, this thing could roll down crazy. You could be in 8th place, 9th place and get an appointment to a team. But more importantly, the question that we wanted to address was, how far out will you be able to make plans to know you're on a team or whatever? So I would say this. I worked out a deal with Ditto Landing. You can call them and tell them you're in the Knucklehead deal. So if you're a camper and you like to camp, they actually stop allowing tent camping November 1st, but we have an exclusion for Knucklehead. If you call and tell them you're with Knucklehead, they'll still let you tent camp all the way through the event. So you can do that. And then there's a special rate for if you're participating in the Knucklehead and you're going to bring your camper, or if you want to park in a power spot or whatever. So again, call Ditto Landing and tell them you're with the Knucklehead series and they'll take care of you. But the answer to the question that you brought up and that a lot of people brought up is we'll have at least a month, because the last challenge is over in September. We got all of October and the first week of November. So there'll be about 5 weeks heads up. But I would just say plan on being there. Plan on fishing the wild card. Worst case scenario, you never know what's going to happen. And then again, it gets even crazier if somebody calls and says, hey, I'm on Team Gramps, but I can't make it. So then we go to the next person. well, then maybe that person can't go because it's too short of a notice. So then you go down, you could end up in 20th spot and call somebody and go, hey, you're Team Gramps. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to walk them through the scenarios we were looking at on Fishing Chaos here in a minute.
And here's the other thing. Like I talked about, it's a good opportunity to get your name out there, right? Yep. So as you go through this tonight and we actually start congratulating winners and we start throwing names out there, I mean, there's one guy in here right now that we're just like, what in the heck? Actually, there's two, Mr. Starling and Mr. Long that are creating a little bit of havoc across the board. But it's a good
chaos,
a lot of chaos on Fishing Chaos, but it's an interesting question and it's an interesting dynamic. And I did have somebody message me and go, man, it looks like these guys are just going to win up all the spots. I might as well quit. No, because if they win and you're right behind them, you step up into that spot if they choose to go to another team. So,
100%.
Now,
last question, like Daniel was saying, the transfer portal, come over to Team Gramps.
Right. I'll leave it with you to decide to not necessarily to decide this, or to at least create the banter for it. Right? Should the team captains be able to like play some gamesmanship by going out and talking to the players and being like, hey man, come over to Team Chad and I got you. You know what I'm saying? Like, or should we just leave it up to them? Because it's going to be hard.
I say you have to leave it up to them. I mean, they're going to know, they're going to be sitting there with all the golden tickets at the end of the day. And, they may want to look around and see who they want to fish for at the end of the day while they're supporting all their favorite creators.
Yeah, that's true. Because we are going to be putting out there what our team will get. So basically they'll look at all the variables and go, okay, cool. I'm going with Team Chad. I'm going with Team Gramps.
Yeah, I mean, what you get with me is a chance to win a kayak and 10 grand and, hand me the trophy so I can rub it in Chan's face on his home. Because every time that we have a live, it's going to be sitting like right here. So when Army beats Navy again, don't think that I'm not gonna let you live that down.
The worst part about it is I brought your ass down here and put you on my juice water. And I remember about halfway through the day, I was like, what the hell am I doing? I got this guy in like the King's Forest in the kitchen, and I'm going to be competing against this knucklehead and his team. He's going to be back here like Mama Duck with 4 little ducks following along behind him. And I'm going to be out here going,
what the hell, where to go.
So anyway, it's going to be fun, man. I'm really looking forward to this event.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of things in this industry. We've made some mistakes. We've set some milestones. We've made history. I'm more excited about this thing and what we're doing with the Catch 22 Challenge and the ability to put gear at Heroes on the Water chapters, to put butts in boats and to get guys out there on the water. I'm more excited about this than anything we've done.
Oh, dude, this is going to be amazing. That is for sure. All right, my dude, I will let you drop and run and get ready for your podcast. I appreciate you hopping in tonight.
Yeah, have a good night.
All right, later.
Knucklehead. Later.
All right, everybody. Appreciate Chad jumping in. Now, real quick, and I've been kind of watching the chat. What this all stems from is, there's a lot of people that buy the 4-pack, or they're obviously supporting various creators and playing for various teams, to see where they end up at. So, for example, let me go ahead and pull up this screen and make sure you stick around tonight, because at the end of the stream, and I'm not going to make this long because I didn't even really plan on going live for too long tonight. We're going to do a gift card from American Legacy Fishing for the April Team Gramps participants. But for those hanging out in the stream tonight, well, I've got I'm just going to say a huge bait bundle that we're going to do a separate giveaway for everybody in the live stream tonight too. And I'll go through and show you what's going to be in the old Gramps box for the giveaway. But real quick, let's jump into Fishing Chaos real quick, and let me share the screen, because that's why I was telling Liz, be patient, because John Long is actually in first place for this month for Team Gramps, but he's in second place for, it was either Chad or Fluke Masters team. And the guy who won both of, I think, Chad's and maybe 2 of Fluke Masters is the same guy. So he's going to have to pick a team, which means John Long will be able to choose between whichever and whichever, which could automatically roll Liz right up into first place if Mr. Long, chooses one or the other. And what I really, really appreciate, you guys, is, it's fun with all the banter back and forth. But the fact that you're going out, you're hopping on the bank, you're hopping in a kayak, you're participating into this. And see, we don't know, Daniel. I don't think Chad or anybody's reached out to him yet, and it'd be cool if he showed up in somebody's stream. Which I think Chad's going to do a live later this week to discuss this situation and all that, and I'm going to join him, and then maybe Mr. Long will be in there too. But there's a couple of dudes out there that have been dropping some big numbers, and it's kind of crazy. So let me make sure you guys are seeing. Let's get that out of the way. I need more like this. Yeah, let's get these brands out of the way. We don't need all that right now. I meant to turn all that stuff off anyway. Hide that. We'll just go to a plain background. There we go. So if we look, let's just do a real quick look at where we're at. Man, there's already people got fish on the board for May. You guys are incredible. And of course, Jeremy's calling. Did I lose stream or something? He is. Oh man, I need to flip it back over there and pay attention. I've got my other thing up and I'm not seeing the chat. Thanks, bro. All right. Well, Jeremy just pointed out to me, because I had up and I was turning off banners and stuff. Looky here, looky here, looky here. Mr. Long is in the house. He says he's thinking he's needing to go fishing. So you'll have to let us know in the chat. You know what I should do is, man, if I'd even thought about this and had info from you, invited you on the live stream just to talk too. But, being that you are in such a unique position, you and I can't remember the other guy's name, but you're in such a unique position and participating in several different teams. And again, guys, I highly encourage you all, especially, in some of the teams that may not have as many participants. And don't forget Larry Melton Jr., Guida, the 2 guys from the Jeff and Paul from, I always say Burley Fishing. It's hardly the AAA guys. Rudd has got a team, so there's it might be Jason Starley, Liz. Yeah, that could be it too. But the more teams that you're playing in, and of course, it's what is it, $15 or whatever. But again, that's the good thing too. Of course, I'm obviously trying to incentivize people to join the team for Gramps because, I want to go up there and whip Chad's butt on his home water because, you got to. But Mr. Long, it's great to have you in here. Awesome performance last month. You guys really, a half an inch separation between you and Liz. And I know Liz was out there just, grinding and having at it. And I'm sure everybody was. It was really incredible. I look and see Jeremy right there in the top 5. And so, that's really incredible. But let's go ahead and scroll through and kind of, do a quick roll through so everybody can kind of see where we finished for April, which is really cool. So we had John Long with 107. You talk about some monsters. And I'm just going to pull up. Every fish over 21 inches. Every fish. I think I literally have one fish on a catch board ever here in Indiana on a catch board that was 21 inches. My PB that I'm trying to reach this year is 21 and a quarter. And you two, just laid the smack down. But just fish after fish after fish. And it's totally incredible. Both of you ended up with a 22-inch fish on the top of the board. And sorry, I'm not paying attention to chat right now because I'm on the other screen just looking at these. But I wonder, I wish there was a way I can sort and see. You guys might have tied for big bass with that 22. And there's Jeremy's, and we scroll down. And, there's our friend Alex Sterling that I met at the national championship. Let you guys know, here's Glenn Landstrom. He's the current Angler of the Year leader in KBF this year. He kind of jumped in late, but I know he's going to come back in a vengeance in May. That's for sure. But I mean, so we got Levi, we got Eric, we got Levi, Alex, Joel. I mean, string through and we see a lot of people I know. Here's Terry Frederick, who I fish with here locally. Joe Novia, who we met at the Kayak Bass Fishing National Championship. He's a Marine Corps veteran, lives up in Valparaiso. He is one of the ones who won the Bonafide kayak, or one of the 2 Bonafide kayaks that Chad gave away last year with Catch 22. And he was down there the weekend after I was fishing in that spot with Chad. It's really cool. Got a friend, Daniel Pierce, right there. We got Mr. Sly Fox Fishing. And Sly Fox, I kind of gypped you, bro. I found 2 more frogs that were supposed to go in the box to come to you. The Pad Perch by Strike King. And I can't remember which one this is. I think Reaction Innovations that we got from Debo. And if it's okay with you, I'm going to put these in the bundle that we're going to give away tonight. So let me know. If not, I'll ship these to you. We have all kinds of people rolling in. I mean, Dominic Martin, our buddy OEF5, Matt Kreitz, John Gittner, another jumped in late, but I'm sure we'll be hearing from, and Will Junkin. I mean, it's to me, it's really awesome that we had so many people, completely hop in. And I guess I should have done this view first. That would have been a little cleaner. But I mean, looking through here, we had 36 people in the April challenge, and I think we have 36 in the May. Let me jump over real quick. I don't think it's going to show me the number there. I have to go back. And I'm going to come back to your guys' comments here in a second. I'm just curious to how many people we had in May. And don't forget, folks, if you're not in it yet, you can join. It's kind of like the state challenges that KBF does, but the 2 main differences is you can join at any time in the month and you can fish in any state. So if you're fishing like our friend Antoine, who has been lighting up the Indiana and Illinois waters lately, you can fish both states and have your fish count. You don't have to stay in your one state. So if you're on the road and fishing different places, public water, you're in there. So let's do a quick. I'm not even going to pull up Team Creeks because he's got tons and tons of folks in his. There's a lot of people in there fighting for it. So we've got 37 people. So we actually bested. Happy birthday to me. May 5th, Friday, coming up. No Friday Night Live this week. We'll be out to dinner with Gran and my father, having some good old Irish food. You think I'd have Taco Tuesday on Cinco de Mayo? Nope, we're going for Irish. But yeah, we've got a whole bunch of folks in it this month too. So that's going to make it really fun. So let me get back to StreamYard so I can see you guys. And Sly Fox says to give them away. We sure will. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. I know you sent me a message today that you got the frogs in, and so I was glad to hear that. Michael Bradley's asking for opinions about NuCanoe kayaks. Yes, they are. Full disclosure, I'm an Old Town Pro staff guy, so I will preach Team Old Town because that's what I know and trust. But I always tell people, get in, go to a demo day if at all possible, and put your butt in a bunch of different kayaks and find. Yes, I'm definitely going to have a Guinness on Friday night. Diet be damned. Definitely put your butts in the seats in different kayaks and try out different things. That way you don't have regret of buying something because then you hopped in and fished out of a buddy's and it just seemed to suit you better. One of the things I really like about the NuCanoes is they have the 360 seat that spins around. If you've ever watched like Bill Dance TV show that I think it's a seat made by Malone, I believe they're called, or something marine, but it's a really, really comfy seat. That is the stock seat they use in their kayaks. If you're a bigger guy like me, their NuCanoe Unlimited, you can literally hold 2 people in it. It's got like a 550-pound capacity. It's a big kayak. I mean, it's a small boat, but I mean, all the batteries, gear, and trolling motors you want to put on it, you won't have an issue with. And then NuCanoe also makes some smaller ones as well. But definitely a high quality brand, and I tell people if you can afford it, a lot of people have to start out with the Walmart kayaks, and we get that. Jeremy and I did. We had, his daughter in one, me and my boys were in, in those. And then you kind of just work your way up from there. And see, I'm already a fan of John right now because he's telling me he's fishing out of the Old Town 106 MK, which will probably be the next one that I buy as a second kayak for when I take people out, just because that if somebody has, some disabilities in the shoulders or the legs and they can't paddle or pedal as much, having that little motor there will definitely make it easier too. So the 106 MK will definitely be my next purchase. But we're going to go through a kayak build series with the paddle kayak using my youngest son's kayak as a model and add some stuff to it too. So stay tuned for that series coming up as well. All right, let me get off of Fishing Chaos for now. And man, I'm telling you, I just love kayak fishing. It's so good. Irish food is McDonald's. Yeah, it's McDonald's. I mean, yeah, that's pretty funny. If only McDonald's sold sold Guinness. All right, let me flip back up through the comments a little bit since I don't want to miss anything too. Yeah, so Liz, Liz had, you guys were really, I mean, but we say this is a game of quarter inches, and it literally is. And sometimes it's a tenth of a millimeter from a tail touching a line that makes a difference, getting that quarter inch or not. But a piece of advice I'll tell people, because when when people judge and score fish, make sure the fish, even though I know this is a beginner, but this is also like a teaching series, for you to learn how KBF and kayak bass fishing works. But make sure, you have the board facing obviously to the left, the, mouth closed, pushed all the way against the fence. Keep your hand in the middle of the fish. Don't get towards the mouth, or, where the line where the fins end and come down towards the tail. Don't cross that line or it's an automatic denial. If you ever have questions, shoot me an Instagram DM, email me at fishingwithgramps@gmail.com. Ask Jeremy, because he's going to be official KBF judge. He just got done with his training, so he's going to be working with KBF to help judge, fish as well. And if you ever have any questions, just ping one of us and ask. And if we can't, find the answer, we know who can too. So don't ever be afraid to ask. But that makes it fun. Corned beef and cabbage equal happy Bill. It's kind of funny you said that. My wife is in there literally eating kielbasa and cabbage because she is getting ready to go on a trip to Europe with her family to her, I'll say, native country of Denmark. So Gran is Danish and Native American. You think that's an interesting mix of warrior breeds who like to burn their people when they're dead. So however Grand goes, it's going to be in something floating on fire, ashes to ashes and so forth. But yeah, that's the woman that I married. It's a great mix of of a tough old bird, I'll say. If I don't say I tell her I said old, because All right. He goes to, if anybody's got any questions about the KBF, the Knucklehead Bass Fishing Series, please ask. Or if you have questions about Catch 22, we're already, knee deep into that too. I wish I would have left that up too, just so we can see where we're at for the year. You know what? I'm going to do it just because I'm here. And then, I said I was going to keep this a very short stream, and we're already 30 minutes in, and I'm not even done talking yet. So we'll let this run for another 30 minutes or so. But let me go back to Fishing Chaos. Let me pull up Catch 22 real quick, because I kind of want to see where everybody's at right now and see where we're at, because that is one of my favorite, challenges or tournament things, because it's for such a good cause. This year it's raising money for, Heroes on the Water. And that to me is just, Jeremy and I both love Heroes on the Water for what they do for our veterans, taking them out, putting them on the water. And it doesn't necessarily have to be fishing. I mean, some of those guys will just get out and go kayaking, and that's the fun of it too. So if I go back and I share this, come on, act like I know what I'm doing. There we go. we see a good mix of people in these where like the Just for Fun Any Water and Watercraft. You see Fluke Master right there. You see John Long. But the thing I like about that one is folks are out playing in their boats from the bank or from the kayaks, however they want to do it. The Catch 22 nationwide, any kind of fish, it's just Catch 22 fish. You don't put a length in, you just put a count in, and it makes it nice and simple there too. But here's our buddy Antoine Hayes. He is a local Indiana hammer here. He is the other member of the Old Town Pro staff that's actually from here in Indiana, and it's really cool being teammates with him. Let me scroll down. So, got to pay some homage to Liz, who is leading the Catch 22 in Florida, and she's off to a healthy start. Bunch of 22s, 21s. Oh, someday I want a 22-inch. But I'm going to fish with Liz again someday when it's a little warmer, when I go back down to Florida and visit my daughter. That'll be a good time. But scrolling through, we see this Jason Starley. He's the one guy who's won a couple of the Knuckleheads so far. And then here's John over here in West Virginia, in not West Virginia, but in Virginia. And then just kind of scrolling through, take a quick look. I want to see how far I am behind Jeremy because I need to get out and start fishing. I'm finally on the water and getting after it, but back in Indiana in my legal stuff. Look at here, Mr. Charles Fox is leading Ohio. Love seeing our good friend Sly Fox fishing and out there laying the smack down on him, but he's got the fish up on the boards leading the way. I think you said you had a 19-inch spot. Was that your PB? That is incredible. Here in Indiana, it seems like we're just full of freaking hammers that we're always chasing. But I gotta take a look and see where Jeremy and I find ourselves between all the hammers here in the Hoosier State. So Antoine's leading the way with Matt Kiefer right behind him. John Gittner, who has a brand new Jackson Kayaks Coosa sitting out right next to my driveway that I'm hoping to get delivered to him this coming Saturday when I go up. Jeremy and I and the Freedom Squad are going to meet up and fish the White River up in around Broad Ripple in Indy this weekend. We're going to fish another grubby event, chasing some smallmouth. And so, there's Jeremy. I'm right behind him. I'm within striking distance. And of course, Daniel Pierce is right between us. So I've got some work to do to catch Jeremy and Daniel, but that's the way it goes. But like I said, my goal isn't to try to beat anybody this year. I'm trying to put 410 inches up on the board, which would be an average of an 18-inch bass across the 21 fish, with number 22 being a 20 plus. So we'll see what happens. But anywho, let's get off of that and get back to the chat and see where everybody's at. So just a quick update with what Jeremy has going on. He is going to be working. Well, a bunch of us are actually working in Mayhem. And if you follow me on Facebook, and not just the Fishing with Gramps page, but my personal Facebook, JT Hickman, and send me a friend request if you're on Facebook and you like to BS and talk about fishing, obviously, and then see pictures of the grand babes. But we're focused this month in Mayhem for KBF. It's a special qualifier for the State Challenge Series Championship that's going on in October, as well as the National Championship that's next spring that Jeremy and I already qualified for because of our top 100 finishes at the Kayak Bass Fishing National Championship. But if you want to qualify for the State Challenge Series Championship, which is very similar to the Knucklehead Bass Fishing Series, except you got to be in a kayak, you got to pick your state, so you can only fish in the one place, and obviously public water. Pretty much most of the other rules are the exact same. It's a $50 entry fee, but there's bigger money to win too. But May is a special qualifier. The top half of the field, which last I checked this morning, there was like 36 or so from Indiana, and actually I think signups just closed. But the top half of that field qualify for that. So Jeremy and I and Matt and Bobby are going to be trying to qualify. And then Jeremy's actually going to try to build up enough points over the next 4 months so that when we go, that he is in the running to actually compete for the National State Challenge Series champion, as well as the Indiana State Challenge Series champion. So he's really swinging for the fences this year. He knows he may have some issues coming up with his arm if the doctor's got to work on it. And so he's swinging for the fences, doing everything he can to basically get out and do the best performance he can. So he's going to be fishing like a hammer for the next 4 months consistently. So if you don't see a lot of live streams where he's appearing in all this, and two, just know that he is literally living on the water to try to chase down this chance. So let me go back and look. Sly Fox says he also wants to break that 400 inches. I mean, and that's a good goal. Jeremy set that, he led Freedom Squad with, 400 inches last year. And so, the rest of us kind of set that goal too. And, not about just beating each other, but, to obviously set personal goals as well. So that was really cool. So, yep, Sly Fox confirmed that was his PB spot. That's really slick. So we're already at 8:37. Can you believe that? We've got 46 people in here. I am going to go ahead and we will do a giveaway for the American Legacy Fishing gift card. I think it's $100 value from Graham and the folks at American Legacy Fishing. I didn't want to ask for much more because keep in mind, where'd it go? Keep in mind, when we hit 25,000 subscribers, we're giving away a brand new SLX 150 that Shimano just came out with this year. This one's mine. You'll have to win your own. But, that, and I need to get out and test this one too, because I've had it just sitting here in the box. I've been playing this spring with a lot of new offerings from Lew's. Their custom light, their elite, and then their elite. I literally have 3 of their elite rods right now. I am not going to lie. Those things are freaking phenomenal for the price point. But anywho, so everybody who participated, and I'll go ahead and tell you the order that I'm going to do these in for April, May, June, and July. So we have 5 different sponsors right now. Well, actually 4, 5 different prizes that I've been able to put together, and I'll keep trying to pursue other, sponsorships to see if, we can do more giveaways as the Knucklehead Bass Fishing Series goes on. But here in April, or for April, we're giving away the $100 American Legacy gift card. Then in May, we're going to give away this brand new Dakota Lithium 23 amp hour battery, which will run your electronics in a kayak forever. And let me show you a little bit real quick what's cool with this one. And this is a new and improved version of this, so to speak. But the cool thing about it is if you look at it, it's got the voltmeter built into it, but you pop this lid up and it's got 2 USB ports in it. So, I mean, that's really slick. And I'm not going to peel the plastic off of it because this one's being saved for the winter. But I've actually got another one of these that I picked up to put in the Old Town Sportsman that we're going to deck out in our what am I calling this? The beginner kayak fishing series, if you will. So I'm going to take a paddle kayak, and we're going to deck it out. I may say deck it out. We're going to rig it up for fishing. And so I'm going to walk through a beginner kayak fishing series for those who may be interested. Drop stuff. Who might be interested in getting into kayak fishing, or for those who just got kayaks like Cairo, like Sly Fox, and other people who are just getting into kayak fishing, so that we can kind of guide them along the way and share some of our experiences with new kayak anglers as well. So we'll talk about PFDs, paddles, nets, rigging, keeping it basic, maybe a little more advanced stuff. We'll just kind of build it up, and we will share. I say we, Jeremy and I, Matt, Sandwich Searcher, will share what we learn. So in May is this 23 amp hour, and this is about a $230 value. In June, we're going to give away, which is about a $300 and somewhat odd value, a Lew's Tier 1 rod and reel. So those are each, I think 150, 160 bucks a piece, but I will let you pick what reel you want from the tier, what ratio. They may not be multiple. It might be either be right-handed or left-handed. And then, what rod from Tier 1. And our good friend Tom Brubaker at Lew's is sponsoring the June giveaway. And then in July, we're going to give away this Dakota Lithium Power Box, which is really, really cool. Jeremy actually won one of these at the KBFNC, and it's basically a little ammo box with a handle on it with switches. And as you can see, it's got lights on it. It's got USB ports on it. It's got battery terminal things to connect your electronics to. So if you're running a kayak like the paddle one that we have out here with a smaller, say, Humminbird Helix 5, this will juice it all day long, plus power your GoPros and, keep your phone charged as well. So, that will be our July. That'll be our July giveaway. Then after it's all said and done, when everything's wrapped up, the kayak bass fishing, the Knucklehead bass fishing series is all over with. When it's all over with, everybody who participated, every ticket that you bought is going to go into a wheel, and one person is going to win an Old Town kayak that will be shipped to your door. So that's my incentive to get you to join Team Gramps. And like I said, it's only a $15 entry fee. If you want to buy all 4 months, it's like $55. Again, we're fishing for a portion of that. Obviously, I'm using some of it for prizes and things like that. But a portion of the proceeds, obviously, is going to go to my charity, which this year, I know Chad is supporting Heroes on the Water for that. Again, I'm actually supporting the Fallen Outdoors chapter here in Indiana that takes disabled veterans either hunting or fishing or duck hunting. They do all kinds of different activities. So it's really cool stuff, too. So I am trying to yeah, Liz, I feel you. I mean, I just got another Humminbird, and I've got to oh, yes, I appreciate it. Yes, birthday's on Friday. I will be 55 on 5/5. So, anybody guess what my favorite number is? Wrong. It's 3. Earnhardt, baby. But I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. But again, so that's what we're doing for the Team Gramps. So, man, yep, here we go. I knew this wasn't going to do. I can't do anything in 30 minutes. Let's go ahead and pull up and bring up the screen with the pick a wheel. Boop. And I have entered everybody who is in the April Team Gramps Knucklehead Challenge. And I think we had 43 entries, and we're at 30. We got to do some work. We can't let my birthday month be less than April. We need to get more people in the Gramps Challenge. I just realized that. Like how I stuck my face in the middle of the wheel. It's pretty funny. So who thinks we should go ahead and pick the winner of the $100 gift card for American Legacy Fishing? Then once we do that, I'll get on and we'll go through and do another bait giveaway for everybody who's actually in the live tonight too. And I got some stuff. I mean, here's some incentive to make sure you stay around. I'm going to open it up with 3 Jackhammer Stealth Blades. Just saying. And then it's just going to keep going from there. So I am going to go through and hit shuffle 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And here's everybody in here. Now, see, you guys want to know what a great supporter is, and I'm sure there's multiple of you out there. But I want to point out one in particular. He doesn't fish from the kayak. He doesn't eat. I don't think he uploaded a single fish because he was, he wasn't bank fishing. But our good friend Ralph over at Army Outdoors still signed up and participated in there he is right there, Mr. Ralph Boyd. But he went ahead and participated in it too, just to show support. But he also has a chance to win a $100 gift card. And I know Ralph loves him some American Legacy Fishing Company. So let's go ahead and spin the wheel. Oh, look at that. There's Yeti. I'm a cheap Yeti plug. Got my Yeti right here. Keep my stuff cold. All right, so let's click back over to the screen and click to spin to win. So let's see who wins John Gentner. So why is that funny? John Gentner is the one who I just mentioned won the kayak that's sitting out in the driveway. So congratulations, Mr. Gentner. Man, that is so funny. But he'll be ecstatic. And I'm gonna go ahead and take a picture of this, and I'm gonna message him on Instagram just so I can get to him too. But again, you have to be in to win. So congrats, John, for winning that. That's really cool. And yeah, that's just too funny. So yeah, I'll be making sure. I'm sure he's gonna be ready to see me Saturday. But American Legacy Fishing, I'll get his email and they will email him his electronic gift card. So let's go ahead and close that down, and I will open up another StreamYard giveaway tool for all of you kind folks that are hanging out with us here tonight on a Monday night that I wasn't expecting to go live, and we just did because I have to. And hashtag Team Gramps. Let's go ahead and start collecting. Let me share that screen on StreamYard. Present, share. And this is for everybody that's in the chat tonight. So I appreciate you guys being here. And you know, it's awesome to have you guys here. And I will just throw that up there. We'll throw that over there while we're doing it. So Team Gramps. Yeah, you have to have John buy you a lottery ticket because man, he's been on fire. So let's go through the stuff that I got here tonight. Obviously, I already gave up the fact that Mr. Slyfox said I can go ahead and donate 2 of the frogs that were in the attempted 2-year debacle, and I'm still editing the video, folks. I'm going to try to have that maybe by Wednesday or Thursday. It'll be one day this week. It's coming, but I've got so much going on. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna get fluster brain just trying to think of what all I got going on. But again, we're gonna start with the Strike King perch pad, which is this one, and then this one I believe is the Reaction Innovations frog that we got from Mr. Debo Fishing. So that's going in the box. Obviously, I started out with 3 different style of 3/8 ounce stealth blades, and one is in the white and chartreuse, the other one is in the shad color. And then the bottom one here is green pumpkin, and so I'm throwing those in there. We are going to have a War Eagle Jiu-Jitsu. This is the one that I think was it Mr. Cherry that won, or Brian Cherry that won the classic with a couple years ago. I'm going to pair these up with some Strike King rodents in green pumpkin, so these will pair up nicely. Should be really good for doing a little ledge fishing if you're into such things. What else do I have here? I have a Bassmaster rod sleeve because I'm a life member and I get crap from Bassmaster. Not that I'm giving you crap, but I'm sponsored by TRC Covers, so I don't need it. We got a BASS face mask, buff, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that's right, Tom. It was Christy. Let's see. We got it's that time of year to be throwing flukes. So white Strike King caffeine shad will catch the fish. We have, let's see. I got all kinds of goodies over here. You got to have a red eye shad because you can't have enough of those. A 2.5 square bill because bass are going to be chasing the crap out of those shad. Depending on where you're at in the spawn, either before or after, they're going to be loading up. I actually picked this up at the Classic. It was in a package that I got, and it's a prop bait. I don't know. I think they call these the spy baits. It's a cotton cordell top water, but it's got the props on the front and back, and I think you just rip it across the water. Throwing that in there. I got a Rapala big balsa. I mean, this is a they call it the big brat. It goes down to 6 feet. It's floating, so it'll come back up if you what's that? Throw the hybrid hunter in lieu of a square bill. Pro tip. Oh, I love the hybrid hunter. I actually got the hybrid hunter juniors and really like that, but that big one is a monster too. What else we got? We got some Z-Man Ned locks with some TRDs. Yes, Gramps don't throw a whole lot of Neds, but got some Neds and PB&J and some the Ned locks EWG. So it's like the Midwest weedlesser type whatevers. Something you cannot be without this time of year. And I don't know how many packs of these I got, but yeah, the Z-Man Pro Craws. Free rig this, folks. Free rig this. Throw it on, 15, 17 pound line with a free rig weight and give it some slack and let this start to float back up off the bottom. Use about a 4/0 EWG hook, light wire if you can. And this is going to be this. I wasn't really going to divulge this one that much, but I started talking about it and I can't shut up. But I've got some smaller ones of these, and then these bigger ones, since they're buoyant, they actually keep it up off the bottom. And just like I said, give it a little slack line and let this float up from the weight sitting on the bottom. And this is something newer, but musky, and I think other anglers have used it, other techniques. They called it something different. But I got this one from American Legacy last year. Graham sent me a bunch of them, and I still had one of the orange ones left over. But this is great through grass and rock. It's called the Grass Ripper from Evergreen. Get you some of the Pro Craws that are either red or the red orange and match it up with this. And then something that people couldn't get their hands on. This was I kind of left these sitting up on my wall, and I really debated on giving these up. But I decided to go ahead and throw it in here because I love you guys. These are the Green Pumpkin Berkeley Power Bait flatworms. Now, if you've been paying attention over the last couple of years, these have been almost impossible to get your hands on. So we'll throw that in there, and obviously I'm going to throw you in some drop shot hooks. And I really like these ones. I got turned on to these standouts for Monster Bass, but I really like the way that it ties on and holds the hook out from the line. And then we have some Monster Bass tungsten in 3/8 for your drop shot. So you got a complete drop shot set up here, and these are pretty dang awesome. So is that a good enough giveaway for coming and hanging out for a little bit tonight? I'm trying to. I don't know how much it's going to cost me to ship this box. But I mean, like I said, I collect so much stuff I can't throw it all, and I figured it was time to put together a bundle. I might not even be able to close this. There we go. But I figured, you know what? You guys have been so supportive, especially with the Team Gramps. We'll just pack this all in a box and send it all out too. So, yeah, I'm not going to keep you guys. It's already 8:54. Let's see how many entries we are up to. We're up to 40 already. That is awesome. We got 54 people in here. Man, it's awesome. I saw somebody comment earlier, and I didn't catch who it was. It must have been Southwest Indiana Outdoors. Noticed my comeback at bluegrass this weekend. Man, I started out, guys. I was fishing this pit and in a tournament on Saturday, and I started out in deeper water, working a drop shot, shaky head, things like that. And I had one fish come off on a shaky head. The hook didn't penetrate through the Elastec all the way. I kind of tried to short do it, but you really don't want to do that with Elastec. You want to come through it and then back it off a little bit. And I kind of forgot. And, I'd been fishing more like Zoom trick worms and things like that. And I didn't get the hook into the fish. Just, got him all the way to the net, and then he took off. And here's what's really going to kill me. And I'm not going to act like I regret anything, because if I would have caught any of the fish that I missed in the morning, I would have ended up probably in third, because anything would have culled the 9-inch dink that I had and would have put me in the money in the tournament. But that it happens. What I am grateful for is, even though I missed, like 5 different fish, had a couple spit a jackhammer, had, one come off of I had short strikes. It was one thing after another. And then I go run down this bank, and I swear to God, I catch 4 crappie in a row on a white Mini Max chatterbait. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I said, I need to mix it up. I need to get out of the I need to get out of the deeper water and go find some shallower and see what I can find. So I picked up a Senko. I went to work along some grass edges and proceeded to catch 4 on the Senko and then a nice 16-incher on I caught an 18 and then a 19 and then an 18 within like a 75-yard span. Then I went and worked a pocket as I was running out of time. Worked a pocket where, windblown point, bait fish are being pushed into this pocket. Caught a 16 and a half, I think, on a chatterbait. And then I caught I don't remember. No, I actually caught another one in the dink, the 9.5 on a Senko. And then after lines out, I caught I caught like a 16 or 17 or something, but that way for catch 22, but ended up putting me in 8th place overall. And so, I went from basically being skunked to catching crappie to just changing up my tactics a little bit and picked up a Senko and went to town. And speaking of the kayaks that I'm going to be working on, there's my youngest, John Michael, and we're going to be rigging up his kayak for fishing the rivers and whatnot too, trying to get him on some smallies as well. So, hey, buddy, glad to see you pop in here tonight. And one more time, real quick, hashtag Team Gramps. We got 40 entries. I'll give you guys one more minute, and then we'll go ahead and do the drawing and get you guys out of here. But I appreciate everybody popping in tonight. I know short notice. I appreciate everybody signing up for Knucklehead and Team Gramps. And what adventures do we have planned next? This weekend, me and the Freedom Squad boys are going to go fish a grubby tournament on the White River up in Indy. This week, we're going to be chasing smallies. Yeah, he appropriately named the kayak the River Stallion. Of course he did. And then he's got to do a shout out to his Uncle Jeremy because that's what they do. Where are we at? There we go. We got everybody. And look at there. Mr. Sam Jones is in the house. Glad to see you in here. If you guys are in the Midwest, especially around Indiana, make sure you hit up his Sam. Is it who's your kayak bassin? I got to make sure I get it right. Sam does a great recap of all the tournaments from all the trails, anything around here in the Midwest, and especially covering Indiana. But he does a great write-up on all the tournaments that Jeremy and I and Matt fish in, and it's really good. And then he also hosts the Turkey Bowl at the end of the year, and that's a tournament that we all dedicate to fish in because it's we fish for donations for food pantries, especially around Thanksgiving. Getting food for needy families and things like that too. So Sam also worked a lot behind the scenes in KBF, and he is just a huge person who's an impact behind the scenes in a lot of different ways for a lot of kayak organizations. And, he is just an awesome dude. So it's always good to see Sam in the chat as well. Daniel said OEF5 wins the kayak naming contest. Is that because he named it Selma? I don't know. I still think Kayadelac is pretty good too. So, yep. All right. With that said, let's hop on over. It's 9 o'clock. We're at 42 entries. Hashtag Team Gramps. Let's go ahead and give away some baits. Tonight's winner is Mr. Daniel Pierce. Excellent. Yeah, Selma kayak. I mean, that's just the funniest. All right, Daniel. That will work. Hey, dude, shoot me a message. Just email me at fishermangrams@gmail.com. I think I've sent you stuff before, but shoot me your stuff, and we'll get you hooked straight up. I appreciate you guys all hopping in tonight. Again, it's always fun chit-chatting with you guys. Stay tuned here in the future. Jeremy and I will be doing some I don't know, we're going to move more towards maybe a little more serious fishing podcast kind of style at some point, where we still interview folks that we want to bring in, new creators, new anglers, pros that we meet, other folks that we get, come on and talk to us about, fishing the tournaments that they're in, or if somebody's working on, some cool new charity thing, we'll try to bring you guys some good quality entertainment as well. And, obviously we're going to work on getting out. I've got my drone license in now. So now I need to go learn how to really fly my drone well so that I don't, get over the body of water and then sink it in. So we're going to be really working on creating, good quality content for you guys. Stay tuned for future. We're going to, just like we did with beginner fishing, we're going to start with beginner kayaking. We're going to start with basic kayaks, basic loadouts, basic paddles, nets, electronics, things like that. I'm just going to spill the guts with what I know in videos over the next several months. And then sprinkled in between that, we'll bring you some fishing podcasts and live streams, as well as, I'll put up some more, most of my tips and whatnot. I think I'll start doing like in shorts, because those seem to get good attention, and then they're not too long, so to speak. But we'll keep bringing you the content. Jeremy's going to be doing the bait making. We're going to be sharing, some stuff like that, and some tips and tricks that he learns along the way from our good friends over at Do It Molds. And and I thank Jeremy for taking that off my hands. Time is one thing I'm just don't have, and time is one thing that Jeremy needs, to be filled with. And he is a former bait maker, and it's going to be interesting to see what kind of creations he comes up with. And he has worked on and created the chattergrams. So we'll be doing some of those for giveaways in the future. Make sure you follow him on Instagram as well as on YouTube to catch some of his shorts. You can find him on YouTube at Jeremy Hickman. So, yep. Jeremy said he tied up some jigs today for May, so he's getting ready for fishing. With that said, it's after 9 o'clock. Thank you guys again. Everybody hopping in the Knucklehead Bass Fishing Challenge. I thank you. Even if you're not doing stuff like that, jump in the Catch 22 Challenge. Bank, boat, kayak, it doesn't matter. There's a spot there for you. So have some fun. Until next time, man, y'all, this is awesome. Oh, get outside when you can and make some memories. That's what Freedom Squad is going to be doing this weekend. I hope you can too. Get out and make some memories, one cast at a time.